Hey guys, one of the latest topics I have been thinking about and wanted to discuss with you about is teenage girls. How they are not that sacred, pure, holy existence that society tries to brainwash you into thinking they are, mainly by movies and TV shows. So, I'm a pretty self-aware person, and I happened to notice this about myself, that when I encounter a girl which is a teenage girl that I like, I let my defenses down. A lot more than with any other woman, even if I don't do it with other women. With a teenage girl, I feel a lot more defenseless. And as I was aware about it, it was bothering me because I don't like feeling in that way. And I started to realize that it has to do with the society's brainwashing from very young age, that tells you that young girls are sacred, they are pure, they are innocent, they are meant to be protected, they are meant to be loved, they are meant to be supported. And all those things. But reality is a bit different. Well, first of all, it is really nice that they are young. Youth is good, youth is life. Being as young as possible is as good as possible. But you see, I have discovered the secret to eternal youth. You might not believe it, but over the years I will become younger. Even as young as a teenage myself, and I will remain that way for the rest of my life. Those teenager girls, youth, is something that is temporary. My youth is going to be everlasting. And my life force is going to be much greater than theirs. Therefore, I represent life a lot more than they do. And compared to me, they are not even as tiny bit as valuable from life's perspective, because my youth will be eternal and my life force will also be eternally great. Unlike theirs, which is not that great to begin with, it's only enough to sustain their health and nothing more, and even that will fade away. But regardless of me, let's talk about the teenage girls themselves. Let's talk about their minds. Are they really those pure, innocent, sacred and holy beings that society portrays them to be? They most certainly are not. I began researching that topic online, on forums and on Quora, on websites in which people converse about topics they ask questions and other people answer. And it appears that teenage girls are not pure or innocent at all, as a matter of fact. Most of them begin to masturbate until they're like 12 or 13 years old. But many of them begin to masturbate much earlier than that, even as young as like 6 years old. And I myself, many years ago, caught my own little sister masturbating with the douche in the shower, rather with the water stream in the shower, when she was like also 6 years old or so. But that's not my source of information. My source of information is what people online tell about themselves and other people that they know. They begin to masturbate very early, and around age of 12 they also look at pictures of guys that they like and they masturbate to those pictures. By the age of 13, most of them already watch porn, and many of them lose their virginity as early as 13 years old. Some of them even lose their virginity when they're 11 years old. I mean, how could that possibly be innocent compared to me when I am 33 years old and I am still a virgin? From that perspective, I am far more innocent than those horny teenage girls. And also I have read online that apparently teenage girls are far more horny than teenage guys. It's just that most of them do not admit that. And it also has nothing to do with whether they are religious or not. For instance, here in Israel, there are many religious men and women. And when I was a teenager myself, I had a friend who was religious, and he used to tell me that those religious girls are not at all innocent just because they're religious. They are as horny and they want to fuck just like any other girl. So basically, teenage girls, because they're young, they might look like they're cute or something, like they're childish. But their minds, they are horny, they crave for sex, they want a penis inside them. And to be honest, it's quite reassuring. Because it makes you feel better about yourself when you'd use a girl as young as a teenager for the purpose of sex, and most certainly not for the purpose of emotions, which is something that I really want to avoid. I don't want bonding or coupling, I just want sex, and only when I feel like it. And sometimes I watch porn. I think that's the normal thing to do. And I really enjoy watching teenage girls getting fucked. Because they're so young and full of life, and their skin everywhere on their face and the rest of their bodies looks really smooth. A teenage girl getting fucked is something that is fun to watch. And in the future, I would most certainly like to fuck many teenage girls over the years. So, there it is. Teenage girls can be used for sex just like a woman who is 20 something years old. Teenage girls are not sacred or pure or meant to be loved and protected or all that bullshit. It's just society's brainwashing and nothing else. That's not the truth. The truth is that they are sexual beings as much as a 20 something year old woman would be. Also, the the earliest legal age of consent in Europe is 14 years old, and that might seem like very young to you, but as I have said, so many of them develop sexually, not just physically, but in their minds also, even earlier than that age. And there must be a reason why some countries allow to begin fucking that early. And I now recall about either reading about a story or watching a story about it online, that it was that 15 years old girl, and she consented to already having over 150 sexual partners. A 15 years old girl. And after hearing something like that, doesn't it give you a paradigm shift, like it changes your perspective about teenage girls. I now think that they're actually horny beasts, whether they admit it or not. They're at the age when they only begin to experience sexuality and they crave for it. Although I think that women of many ages have sex constantly on their minds, at least by what I've been reading online. It's just that so many women lie about it. They may even lie to themselves, but from what I've been reading online, I've come to think that women are actually much more horny than men. Oh, and now I am reminded that another thing that I have read about teenage girls, that many of them masturbate daily. Masturbation is a normal daily thing for them. Some of them masturbate twice a day. And And some of them say that unless they masturbate, they are not even able to sleep. They are that much horny. So yeah, teenage girls are actually horny beasts. They are not pure, they are not innocent, they are not meant to be loved and protected. That's bullshit. That's society's brainwashing. They are horny beasts. And if they're attractive enough, trust me, they are meant to be fucked. And fucked well. That's for teenage girls.